I'm Dr. Anushree from Department of Conservative Dentistry and Orthodontics. Today we'll discuss about liners, bases, and pulp capping agents. Liners and bases are materials placed between dentin and restoration to provide pulp protection. Now, why pulp protection? The pulp has to be protected because the remaining wall of dentin provides little protection from heat generated by rotary instruments, noxious ingredients of various restorative materials, thermal changes conducted through the restorative materials, forces transmitted through the materials to the dentin, galvanic shock, and ingress of bacteria or noxious bacterial toxin through microleakage. Now, how to provide pulp protection? Of the remaining dentin thickness between the pulp and the restoration is less than 2 mm. In such cases, we have to provide pulp protection with the help of bases and liners. Now, what are liners? A liner is a fluid paste applied in thin layer as a protective barrier between dentin and restorative material. Liners should not be used and thicker than 0.5 mm. They provide electrical insulation and pulpal medication. Liners can be divided into two, that is, thin film liner and thick film liner. Thin film liner will have a thickness of 150 micrometer, where thick film liner will have a thickness of 0.2 to 1 millimeter. Thin film liner can be again divided into solution liner and suspension liner. Now, what are solution liners? These are non-aqueous solvents that rely on evaporation or hardening, and it mainly contain copalite, that is 10% copal resin and combination of either chloroform or acetone. Liners are usually applied with the help of a brush or cotton pellet. They form thin coating on the tooth as the solvent evaporates. A liner that is varnished beneath the amalgam restoration prevents the penetration of corrosion products of amalgam, thereby reducing tooth discoloration. Now coming to cavity sealers, these are liquid primer-like material that seals the dentin surface prior to placing definitive restorative material. Example is Gluma. It contains HEMA and glutaraldehyde. They are effective sealing agents for dentin. Suspension liners are water-based liners. Here the constituents will be suspended in water instead of being dissolved. They'll have a film thickness of 20 to 25 micrometer. They provide electrical insulation and protection from microorganisms and irritants. Coming to cement liners, these are thicker liners that mainly provide pulpal medication and thermal protection. In case of deep preparation, calcium hydroxide will be placed in the deepest portion of the preparation as it encourages dentin bridge formation. The most commonly used cement liners are zinc oxide eugenol, glass ionomer, and resin modified GIC. Here we can see that calcium hydroxide is placed in the deepest portion of the preparation, that is near to the pulp, and then over which a layer of RNGIC is given, and then composite restoration is placed. Coming to materials used as liners, calcium hydroxide is the most commonly used liner. This is available as Dical and Pultent. Calcium hydroxide has good antimicrobial activity and it has an alkaline pH, that is, the pH is around 12.4, this alkaline pH helped to neutralize the acids formed by the microorganisms. And it also stimulates the formation of tertiary tendon over an injured pulp. Coming to resin modified glassinoma, these are light activated aligners, that is, it can be cured by light. All the other properties are similar to that of our conventional GIC. Coming to bases, base is any substance that is placed under a restoration that blocks out the undercut in the preparation and act as thermal or chemical barrier to the pulp and or controls the thickness of the overlying restoration. It should have a filling thickness of greater than 0.7 millimeter. As we know, the most commonly used bases are zinc phosphate, zinc polycarboxylate, zinc oxide eugenol cement, and glass ionomer cement. Function, they block out the undercut, they seal the dentin against leakage and deep cavities. They act as replacement dentin with large composite restoration to reduce the volume of composite restoration. Coming to requirement of a base, it should be strong enough to withstand the forces of mastication and the forces exerted during placement of the filling. Zinc phosphate has a higher compressive strength of around 104 megapascal. Resin modified GIC has also a highest compressive strength, that is around 85 to 185 megapascal. Base cement should be selected after considering the direct restorative material and proximity to the pulp chamber. In case of amalgam restoration, the most commonly used bases are calcium hydroxide, zinc phosphate, and zinc oxide eugenol cement. In case of direct filling gold restoration, zinc phosphate polycarboxylate or GIC can be used. Zinc phosphate has a good thermal insulation. It provides good thermal insulation. It is thick and non-tacky. Glass ionomer is mainly used over calcium hydroxide liner in case of deep preparation. It provides chemical adhesion, good mechanical strength, potential fluoride release, well-controlled setting, and rapid achievement of strength. Coming to clinical considerations of liners and bases, in case of shallow preparation, that is, if the remaining dentin thickness is more than 2 millimeter, in such cases, we don't have to give liners and bases. We can directly go for amalgam or composite restoration. If the preparation is moderately deep, that is 0.5 to 2 mm, then in such cases, we usually place a GIC as a liner and then over which amalgam or composite restoration is given. If the preparation is very deep, that is 0.5 to 1 millimeter of remaining dentin, that is if the RDT is less than 0.5 mm, in such cases, we have to place calcium hydroxide in the deepest portion of the preparation and then over which GIC is given and then composite. Thank you. We'll discuss the remaining portion in the next class.